For me, I find it impossible to cry. Like, I cover my emotions with laughter, joking around, being a fool.
Or even when you're by yourself, you can't?
I find it so hard, man. I can't appear to be weak.
So what's it like being a man in 2019? Mental health isn't always the easiest thing to talk about, but we also have a lot of feelings, so we probably should. We've got 5 men in a room to do just that. This is Man Up. First thing I want to talk about is masculinity. And I've got quite an interesting stat here. It's that 36% of men alter their personality to appear more masculine. Do you guys feel like you're currently altering your personality to be more manly?
It depends on the situation, I think. You know, sometimes when you're like around like a big group of boys, suddenly it's like, you feel a bit more bouncy, you feel more like, do you know what I mean? Yes, geez, what's happening? When really, if you're around like, do you know what I mean, your pals, you kind of tone it down a little bit.
Why do you think that is?
I think that's a pride thing. I know definitely, whether it be like in friendships or relationships, like pride is like a big issue. Like, it's like, don't mug me off, like, don't make me feel small, don't like...
It's respect.
It's a respect thing, yeah.
Respect.
I think it could be a defense mechanism, depending on your environment. Even growing up as a kid, like I was a proper good, placid, happy-go-lucky child, and as soon as I went to secondary school, it was like going into a zoo. So I had to get this kind of armour on me, do you know what I'm saying? So that was kind of where your masculinity starts coming from, for me.
It's sad though, isn't it? Because I suppose that's the moment that you stop talking about your emotions so much and you put up a mask and a bit.
I think as men, we struggle to do the emotions kind of thing, and the masculinity obviously is a front for a lot of things that we're trying to hide.
Would you, like, cry in front of your friends?
Hell no. You don't want to appear weak, especially in front of a group of guys, like, obviously, like you said, coming into a new group of people. Like, you don't want to appear like you're less of a man than the man sitting next to you or standing next to you, you know what I mean? So I think, for me, I find it impossible to cry. Like, I cover my emotions with laughter, joking around, being a fool.
Or even when you're by yourself, you can't?
I find it so hard, man. I can't appear to be weak.
I think I was at a stage like that at some point. You know, I felt like that when I was younger. If I ever felt down, stuff like that, and I just held it in, and it just turned to like all the situations I've had with self-harming and stuff like that. It's the only way I could get a release for stuff, so I was like cutting myself, or, do you know what I mean? I used to punch walls and doors and wreck my mum's house. My name's David Cox, I'm 30 years old and currently play football for Cowdenbeath Football Club in Scotland. I've suffered from mental health issues from a very young age, probably about 14, 15 years old. And on a number of occasions I've tried to take my life. The pressures of playing football and having people knowing kind of what's went on throughout my life and the issues I've faced, it's been hard.
Was there, I suppose, anybody in your lives that you could talk to about your emotions? Like, could you talk to your dad about?
Nah.
I mean, I'm sure if I'd have ever spoken to my dad about my emotions,
He'd have been fine.
he'd have been fine with it. But I just look at him and go, no way.
Approaching your dad with something like that and making yourself look so weak in front of the person you want to look the strongest.
Yeah, exactly.
See, but it's this thing about weak, isn't it? Like, where does that come from? Why is crying weakness?
But I was brought up with my brother to be a hardy kind of boy, do you know what I mean? And it's just, I don't know, it's just had a negative impact on my whole kind of life.
Because it's funny, because we're all saying, oh, weakness is being sad. And even I'm sitting here like, oh yeah, that is totally what it is, you know, because it's so kind of conditioned in our head. But then the only emotion men can express is anger.
I recognise now showing your emotions and being able to cry is actually a strength. Sometimes you can get stuck into a rut where you're so used to kind of suppressing your emotion for so long, it actually becomes hard to release, do you know what I'm saying? Inside, I'm probably like screaming deep down, but I'm so used to not showing my emotions, it's hard for them to come out now.
Sometimes you're forced to show your emotions though, aren't you? Like, you know, you had a pretty bad crash in which kind of like your whole career was thrown up.
Yeah. My name's James Ellington, I'm 33 years old and I'm a Team GB sprinter. I was a pretty successful sprinter. I had Olympic experience. I went to the 2012 Olympics for the 200 metres, a couple of World Championships, and I also had 2 gold European medals to my name. In January of 2017, we was on a training camp in Tenerife. Me and one of my training partners wanted to go and explore and have a look at the volcano. And sadly, on the way back down from doing the whole tourism bit, we had a head-on collision with a car. I ended up breaking both my legs, my pelvis, tearing my adductors off the bone, fractures, you name it, I pretty much had it. A lot of people, rightly so, thought my career would be over, completely finished. And I'm currently still trying to get back. I think being an athlete and having a mentality of always kind of moving forward and looking forward, I was just thinking about, right, can I come back? So I kind of, maybe I'll deal with it in a couple of years down the line, maybe it might all come out. But even to this day now, I mean, I think about it all the time, and it obviously it's been a struggle and it still is a struggle, but I haven't, which I don't think is healthy, I haven't shed no tears really. I ain't shed no tears.
I mean, do you think, because another stat is, 42% of men think that they should be the main breadwinner in their life. Is that something that resonates?
Yeah.
Yeah. If the bill came, I feel a need to grab the card machine and you know what I mean? It's mine. Like, let me put my card in. Like, it makes me feel good to be able to provide. Do you understand? Like, it might not be like the PC thing to be like, I should pay. Like, I want to open the door. Like, I want to pay for the food. I want to come home and, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not asking for like dinner on the table or anything like that, but I do want to be like the alpha. I do want to be like, listen, I'm going to look after you. Like,
it's kind of control, isn't it, as well? It's kind of like you want to be in control, maybe. Do you think that's what it is?
You've probably got a lot of men that feel inadequate because you kind of go back to a traditional household 30 years ago or whatever, it'd be the man going to work, providing the woman would look after the kids. But nowadays, some men might feel like, I don't have a place, I mean, my missus is earning more than me, I don't feel, do you know what I'm saying?
I'm like that, nice.
But I always still feel I should be the one providing. My missus right now, she's doing really well. She's a career-driven young woman and she's killing it right now. She's earning way more than me, right? And even though she's earning, and she's like, don't worry, babe, I'll pay for it. And I'm like, no.
Yeah, I'm like that.
Is it pressure, though?
Yeah, I felt mad pressure. So coming from Scotland, I had a child on the way and I'd just been let go of my contract. And I was thinking, where the hell's the money going to come from? Like, how are you going to pay for diapers? How are you going to pay for rompers? How are you going to pay for wipes, food? And I was always Olu the footballer, and then now I'm just Olu. My name's Olu, I'm 26 years old. I started my career at Tottenham from the age of 7 to 18. From there, I moved from Tottenham to Norwich, then from Norwich to Falkirk in Scotland. My career, I'd say, has been a weird one because I've had so many highs, at the same time had so many lows. I faced, let's say, an identity crisis where I was trying to figure out who I was as a person, and the transition from everyday training to then becoming, your average Joe was hard. I saw my dad being the main breadwinner all the time, like coming home late, working all hours of the night, traveling up and down the country, this country, that country, being the sole breadwinner. And I was thinking, I need to be that. I cannot not be the man that, like, my woman looks at me and be like, oh, he's a bum. Like, I always battled with myself, like, I need to make money somehow, and I'm paying. I paid for it in the sense that I made decisions and decided to make money in ways that obviously I shouldn't have done, but I had to because I needed to be that man figure that she wanted. You know what I mean? Or I felt that she needed. It's a scary road to go down if you start playing things in your head that you need to be that breadwinner.
I just think it's maybe about how you think people perceive you.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely, yeah. Do you know what I mean? What's he outside looking in thinking that he's just sitting there and his missus is...
You have a big kind of social media following. Does it kind of apply to the image you project of yourself on your Instagram? I was looking at it before, always a big expensive cars, six-pack abs.
Ain't no six-pack anymore, boy, I'm telling you that for free. I'm guilty of it massively. Before I even had like a big following, when I had, 1, 2, 3, 4,000 followers, which is still like a lot of people, but you'd end up doing things purely for gratification, right? So like, I know for a fact is that, okay, if the sun's over there, the beach is over here, I turn around, abs looking sick, who's gonna like that? Like, I'm just gonna look at that picture and think, yeah, cool, it took me 10 pictures to get the right one. But I know when the likes start rolling in from certain people on a certain amount, that gives me gratification and satisfaction. And like, that was before I had a big following. Like, you get in your feelings about it, in your head about it, the more followers you have, the more people that judge, the more people that comment. I'm Josh Denzel, I'm 27 years old, and you might recognize me from season 4 Love Island. Obviously Love Island gives you a huge platform, a bit of notoriety, I guess you could call it celebrity, which comes with, many ups and downs. There's also, a lot of pressure on you through, whether it be social media, for your own doing, or through kind of the public perception of you, or what you believe the public's perception of you is, to kind of live a lifestyle.
Would you ever post on Instagram, I'm feeling sad today? Like a kind of emotional post about, kind of maybe not?
I'm not someone who really talks about my emotions that much to my friends. So, but sometimes, like, I've not done it, but I think it's a big deal to put yourself out there, make yourself vulnerable to all of those people.
For me, I think because the industry I'm in, I know a lot of the people that I see on Instagram in real life, and you go onto their social media page and they look like they're having the best time in the world, and they're the happiest people. And I know these people personally, and some of these people I know, obviously no names, are some of the most insecure people you'll ever meet. I mean, I was in Monaco a couple of years back for a Diamond League competition. It was amazing, I had a good time. But most of the time I was just sitting on the balcony on my one, and I'm thinking, I'm here, but I'm on my own. No one else is experiencing it. I put an Instagram post out, and everyone's like, yo, I wish I was there, but I was kind of like...
I suppose, do you guys ever say to your friends, like, I'm feeling sad, like actual sadness, I might feel a little bit depressed today, like...
I do, I'll freely speak about it to my best mates and stuff. I've got a manager I've been with for like the past 5 years, and the reason I stay and kind of follow him is that he knows what he's getting, I know what I'm getting in terms of the mental health side of it, because I've had managers in the past that have wanted nothing to do with me because I've struggled.
Have people said to you they felt the same?
Yeah, I've had a few teammates that approached me and kind of saying, like, well done for coming out and speaking about it, and I kind of struggle, and it just kind of goes for there, do you know what I mean? Boys are like, how did you deal with that? And
I think it's so hard in the football community, like...
And I think even before I first came out in the papers with my story, I would never have thought about speaking about it. And the dressing room can be like the loneliest place in the world. I mean, because you know what it's like, boys are in, they just want to have a laugh, carry on, joke, whatever it is they're doing, you know what I mean? And you're just sitting there and you feel absolutely terrible.
What about modern day masculinity would you change?
Who cares if guys shows their emotions, do you know what I mean? They're just like, just because we're men, it doesn't mean we're any different from the way we feel like women do or anything like that. We go through the same stuff, feel the same feelings. So why is it okay for them to show theirs and we feel like we can't kind of show ours, you know what I mean?